Today on Rappler, a Rappler exclusive. Records show the daughter of the pork barrel queen owns a $2 million apartment in LA. Senator Santiago wants to phase out lawmakers' pork barrel by 2016. And a new survey shows 4 in 10 Filipinos say they don't feel progress in the economy. Hello, I'm Maria Ressa. Welcome to Rappler, your social news network. Here is a Rappler exclusive. Records from the Los Angeles County assessors show the daughter of Janet Lim-Napoles owns an apartment at the Ritz-Carlton Residences, the home of Hollywood celebrities. Janet Lim-Napoles is allegedly the head of a syndicate which fakes NGOs that corner multi-million development assistance funds from lawmakers. The lifestyle of Napoles' youngest daughter, Jean, came under the spotlight after her mother was linked to the scheme. Records show Jean is the registered owner of Unit 371 of the Ritz-Carlton Residences in Los Angeles. The documents do not mention the price of the unit, but its estimated market price is pegged at 80 million pesos or almost $2 million US dollars. The Ritz-Carlton Residence website describes its apartment units as luxury residences. The residences boasts of 5-star amenities like valet service, high-class restaurants, and panoramic views of the city. While the elder Napoles admits owning a 7 million peso hotel in LA, she never mentioned her daughter's 80 million peso apartment. Napoles admits funding her daughter's lavish lifestyle, but says their money comes from legitimate businesses. In an interview with Karina Sanchez for ABS-CBN, Janet Napoles says her family earned their money from coal trading in China, India, Pakistan, and Indonesia since the 1990s. Senator Miriam Santiago wants Congress to phase out the Priority Development Assistance Fund, or PDAF, of lawmakers by 2016. The PDAF is what's normally called the pork barrel funds. On Wednesday, Santiago files a resolution urging the Senate to gradually phase out the PDAF as the second best solution to immediately abolish the pork barrel. Senators receive 200 million pesos each year in development funds, while members of the House of Representatives get 70 million pesos each. Santiago's resolution follows reports of a multi-million peso scam where some lawmakers allowed their pork barrel to be used for ghost projects in exchange for commissions. In an interview Wednesday, Senate President Franklin Drilon and Senate Majority Leader Alan Peter Cayetano say they support Santiago's proposal. But several lawmakers oppose the abolition of the pork barrel. Speaker Sonny Belmonte says House members need the pork barrel to funnel projects to their constituents. But Santiago says, "We're legislators, not public works contractors. People look up to us to make serious laws that could change the lives of a great number of people." A new survey shows Filipinos say they don't feel the economic growth hailed by international credit rating agencies. In a Pulse Asia survey released Wednesday, 4 in 10 Filipinos, or 43%, say the Philippine economy is, quote, unchanged. 28% of the respondents say it is better now, and 29% says it's worse now. The national averages in the new survey hardly changed since the last survey in March, but it shows residents of Metro Manila are less optimistic about the economy. The number of Metro Manila residents who say the economy is better now than the previous year dropped 15 percentage points from 40% in March to 25% in June. Numbers for Luzon also show respondents saying the economy is better decreased, while those saying the economy got worse increased. Numbers for the Visayas and Mindanao barely changed the last 3 months. Presidential spokesperson Edwin Lacerda says the economic growth is not about trickling down, but enabling ordinary workers to help lift the economy.
One very factual thing is that our numbers improve, the economies improve. That's why this is not about trickle down. This is about making them the farmers, the fisher folk, the ordinary workers be part of the tide that lifts us all.
Philippine Foreign Secretary Albert Del Rosario says investigators focus on halfway houses to prevent the alleged sex-for-flight scam by predatory officials. In a press briefing, Del Rosario says the common denominator in terms of these harassment cases seems to have been the halfway houses. He says they recommend, quote, tightening policies and procedures in halfway houses to minimize similar incidents. In June, Del Rosario said the Philippine government eyes institutional changes in halfway houses for distressed overseas Filipino workers in the Middle East. The halfway houses are supposed to be havens for abused OFWs, but also serve as the staging point for the sex-for-flight scams and other abuses. Dato Ahmad Tato Ampatuan Sr. is due to appear in court after failing to get a status quo ante order from the Supreme Court for his role in the 2009 Maguindanao Massacre. Tato Ampatuan, son-in-law and nephew of former Maguindanao Governor Andal Ampatuan Sr., will be arraigned along with other suspects in the killing of 58 people. The arraignment of Tato Ampatuan and Sajid Islam Ampatuan were deferred last June after they filed motions questioning their inclusion in the list of those accused in the massacre. The Maguindanao Massacre is the worst case of election-related violence in Philippine history and the worst case of violence against journalists in the world. About 90 other suspects remain at large almost 4 years after the killings. A stampede mars the last day of voters' registration for the Village and Youth Council elections as hundreds try to beat the 5 p.m. Wednesday deadline. The registration period started July 22. Commission on Elections Chair Sixto Brillantes earlier said the deadline will not be extended. GMA Online reports chaos at the COMELEC office in Manila, with people shoving each other to force their way inside the office. The Inquirer reports COMELEC was surprised at the huge turnout of registrants. Brillantes says the poll body will determine whether the registrants were actual first-time voters or were mobilized by politicians. He also chastises people for waiting until the last day to register. Electricity is back in the province of Albay as of 5 p.m. Wednesday, more than 24 hours after the entire province was disconnected from the grid. In a message to Albay Governor Joey Salceda, Energy Secretary Jericho Petilla orders the reconnection of the province after the Albay Electric Cooperative, or Aleco, disconnected its top 100 non-paying customers. On Tuesday, the National Grid Corporation of the Philippines, or NGCP, cuts power in Albay because of 4 billion peso debts Aleco owed creditors. The blackout affects at least 160,000 households. The Energy Department says the Philippine Electricity Market Corporation, or PEMC, ordered the disconnection after Aleco failed to pay its 56 million peso bill for June. Out of the cooperative's total debt, around 1 billion peso is owed to PEMC, while around 3 billion pesos are owed to the NGCP, Transco, Power Sector Assets and Liabilities Management Corporation, and the National Electrification Administration. In June, Aleco failed to pay 170 million pesos worth of bills, but successfully staved off a province-wide disconnection after the province's mayors asked the Energy Department to allow the cooperative to give the cooperative more time to raise money. The Philippines celebrates National Heroes Day August 26. This year, the focus is on two heroes who lived exactly 150 years ago, Apolinario Mabini and Andres Bonifacio, and how these two remain relevant to a country in search of its identity. Pia Ranada reports.
Inside the Polytechnic University of the Philippines stands an old house made of wood. But it isn't just an old house. This is where the hero Apolinario Mabini lived and died.
Galing lang siya sa mahirap na pamilya, pero nag-struggle siya, nagpursige siya para maabot yung kanyang pangarap. Magbibigay inspirasyon yun, lalo na sa kabataan.
Called the Sublime Paralytic, his polio was not a hindrance to serving his country.
Isa siya dun sa mga founder ng ating Philippine government. Unang-una naging advisor siya ni General Emilio Aguinaldo on political affairs. Si Mabini rin naging cabinet secretary. Then eventually, he held the position of Secretary of Foreign Affairs.
Next door, visitors can explore the Mabini Museum. The museum introduces new ways of telling Apolinario Mabini's story. Kids can enjoy flipping through this pop-up book, which narrates Mabini's life one page at a time. There's an animated video, interactive touchscreen, and cardboard cutouts. Andres Bonifacio, a man of the masses, has always been the icon of the working man. He led the Katipuneros in a revolution against the colonizer Spain.
Tila mapanghamon din ang titig ni Bonifacio. Tilang sinasabi, ikaw, Pilipino, ano na ang nagawa mo para sa iyong bandila at kapwa?
With two heroes about to celebrate their 150th birth anniversaries, it's a time to think about what heroism means. Gary Bonifacio, a great-great-grandnephew, says heroism is about ordinary people answering the call of the times.
The modern hero today are the ordinary persons that do their work in its extraordinary means. Bonifacio, being an ordinary individual at that time, became a hero because he did an extraordinary act, which is to sacrifice his life for the freedom of our country.
National Historical Commission Chairperson Maria Serena Diokno says there are plenty of modern Bonifacios today.
You know, Andres Bonifacio, he wasn't the sort who demanded publicity or media mileage or, that kind of public recognition. He believed in what he did and he did it. And I think there are still many Filipinos who are that way. That's why
it's not hard to find selflessness and courage in the heroes of our past. The big challenge for the Historical Commission, connecting them to the Filipinos of today. Pia Renada, Rappler, Manila.
One of Hollywood's highly regarded beauties is also the richest. Angelina Jolie tops this year's Forbes highest paid Hollywood actresses list with her $33 million paycheck earned between June 2012 and June 2013. After Jolie's last blockbuster, The Tourist, in 2010, the actress went off the radar until her surprising disclosure of a double mastectomy this year. Jennifer Lawrence comes in at second place with $26 million. She's best known for her role as Katniss Everdeen in The Hunger Games and her Oscar-winning lead role in Silver Linings Playbook. Last year's highest-paid actress, Kristen Stewart, is now in third place at $22 million. Well, let's now look at Rappler's Wrap for today, a list of the 10 most important events around the world you shouldn't miss. At number 2, American soldier Bradley Manning is found guilty of espionage Tuesday for leaking U.S. government secrets, but he's cleared of the most serious charge that he willfully helped Al-Qaeda. Manning, an intelligence analyst, could face up to 136 years in jail for handing classified information to anti-secrecy website WikiLeaks. Tuesday's verdict follows an exhaustive 2-month court-martial at the Fort Meade military base in Maryland. At number 7, Israeli and Palestinian negotiators set an ambitious goal to reach an elusive peace deal within 9 months. Standing side by side with U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry, officials from both sides say it's time to end their decades-old conflict. Both sides agree to meet in 2 weeks to begin formal bilateral negotiations. U.S. officials praised the leadership and courage shown by Palestinian leader Mahmoud Abbas and Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. And at number 8, tech giant Google invites the public to try out its wearable computer, Google Glass. The company sends email messages to existing Google Glass partners to invite a friend to try out the device. The catch? Testers need to be in the United States, are at least 18 years old, and can pick up Glass in San Francisco, New York, or Los Angeles. Many geeks are excited over Glass, hoping it will be as ubiquitous as the cell phone. But others say the clunky eyewear won't catch on unless Google can make it look sleek and cool. For the full top 10, visit Rappler.com's The Wrap. Every story on Rappler has a mood meter, which gives you 8 emotions to choose from. Click how you feel and your vote comes down to the mood navigator in the middle of the front page. That crowdsources the mood of the day. It also gives you the top 10 stories that have gotten the most votes on their mood meters. These 10 stories have affected our readers the most. If you take a look today, it looks like Christmas. We have happy and angry, red and green. The story that's gotten the most number of red votes, the angry votes, the Pork Barrel Queen, the top story today. Pork Barrel Queen parties with Solons, 88% angry. Lim-Napoles' daughter blogs about lavish lifestyle, 86% angry as well, 6% annoyed. And the story that just posted a few hours ago that now has the most number of votes on the mood meter, Lim-Napoles' daughter owns 80 million peso LA property, 5% annoyed, 85% angry. The red leading to the mood of the day. Today, most people are angry. Well, that's Rappler's Newscast for today, Wednesday, July 31, 2013, the last day of July. Visit Rappler.com and watch our newscast Monday to Friday. Tell us how you feel on our mood meter and help us crowdsource the mood of the day. I'm Maria Ressa. As we say at Rappler, tomorrow begins today.